The Andy Pollin Show on ESPN 630, the sports capital.
This is Orioles preview. Orioles continuing their series at Nats Park tonight. A 6:45 start. Coverage here on ESPN 630 gets underway at 6 o'clock. Rough go of it for the Orioles lately. They lost 24-2 on Sunday, lost 7-0 last night. That's not good. 31-0, 31-2, I should say, over the last two games. Not good for them. Obviously, pitching is a problem, and as well as hitting, which we will get into. But we're about to be joined by Catie Griggs, who is the president of baseball business for the Orioles. And before we launch into some of the things we need to talk about, including the MASN deal, let's catch up, because I remember a year ago you had just taken the job and you came on, and like ships passing in the night, my son was about to move to Seattle, and you were coming from the Mariners. So I will update you on how things are going for him in Seattle after you tell us how you've enjoyed your first year in Baltimore.
Well, I hope that things have been going well for him. I've certainly enjoyed my first year in Baltimore. Our fans are fantastic. Our family has settled in nicely. It's an incredible place to live. So we're very happy, but hopefully he's been very happy in Seattle as well.
Well, he's living in Green Lake. You may be familiar with that.
Great.
Yeah.
I am.
He's right across the street from the lake and the park. He likes to play basketball. He's teaching at a school near the airport. His wife now, they were engaged at the time. His wife is a pediatric dentist. She's from there. She grew up in Sammamish. So, it's all good for him there. So it's nice that it's worked out well for both sides.
I was going to say, sounds like a good trade.
Absolutely. And things have been going well, obviously, on the business side. A big crowd last weekend for the game. Would you have 42,000 on Sunday with the hockey jersey giveaways? What are some of
even more than that? Yeah, it was a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, and so. I mean,
in terms of fans,
promotions are part of the picture, but, good team helps, and you're coming off 2 years of making the playoffs, a little struggle so far. But what have you found in terms of marketing with the Orioles so far this year?
Look, we have incredible fans here in and around Baltimore, and I think that's something that's very, very clear. And, yes, it helps that we've had a team that's played very well. It's still early this season. As you mentioned, it's been a little bit rocky so far. But one of the best things and one of the most frustrating things about baseball is it's a long season. So there's a lot ahead of us. We're really excited for where we believe the season will continue to take us. But, for us, it's all about figuring out how do we make sure for any of our fans, whether it's the first time or the 100th time at Camden Yards, you can have an incredible experience. And giveaways play a role in that. The food and beverage play a role in that. Sort of the experience, the audio, the visual, and obviously, most importantly, the play on the field. They all come together to create that experience.
I have not been out this year. I was there last year. I'm due to go on the 18th when they play the Nats. But I know that the state had approved, was it $500 million in improvements for the stadium? Has that work begun, or is that scheduled down the road?
So that work will begin in earnest this coming off season. So there were a handful of things we were able to pull forward this year that were relatively smaller. Most of the work takes fairly long time from a procurement standpoint, all the really fun, sexy stuff. So we're already deep underway in terms of the work that will happen this coming off season and be in place for the 26 season. Mm-hmm. But a few of the things that we put into place this year were obviously the expanded bird bath, the kids' home run porch, pulling forward all of our beverage stations so fans could have refillable sodas throughout the entire ballpark, and then also putting in an interim audio solution, which admittedly is still not perfect, but it's better than where we were last year, and then we'll have the opportunity to do a full refresh during the 25-26 offseason.
You say fun and sexy things. Can you tell us?
No, look, we will be doing a full audio-visual refresh right now. Camden Yards is the smallest video board in Major League Baseball. We're not going to go crazy. Needless to say, this is a ballpark that I don't think needs that.
Yeah.
But we do want to make sure that we have boards that are legible when it's daytime. And the one that we have now is pretty old. It's pretty hard to read when you got the light on it. And we want to make sure that we have the opportunity to be displaying all of the stats that our fans want to see, as well as some fun content. So we'll be putting in a bunch of new video infrastructure throughout the ballpark, more IPTVs throughout the concourses, because we know that because we have a ballpark that does not have a concourse that allows our fans to see in to the stadium itself when they're out there, we want to make sure that they don't miss a minute of the action. And then, yes, a whole new audio setup that'll be completely improved from where it is before, and then even where it is this year.
You know what's funny about Camden Yards? It was the first of its type, a new ballpark with a retro feel. You're now 33 years there, and you look at some of the cities around the country. I think Atlanta's on its third stadium since then. The life of a ballpark isn't really much more than 20 years now. I mean, you're not well away from that, but you're not. You're getting into territory of like Wrigley and Fenway Park, right?
Well, I think, look, this is an incredibly special ballpark, and we all know that. And to your point, it's one of the reasons I believe it has aged so well. And so for us, the goal is not to change all the amazing things about it, but to enhance those and make sure that, a few parts have started to feel or look a little bit dated are brought up to speed so our fans can continue to have an incredible time. So that's what we're looking to do.
We're talking to Catie Griggs, who is the president of business operations for the Orioles. They announced the other day that the MASN will now stream both Orioles and Nationals games. And just to clear up what you may be hearing about some hysteria, for the rest of the season, you can sign up for $89.99, which some people did, and some kind of an accounting error. People were charged $8,999. I assume that's all been cleaned up, right?
It was 8 people, and it was before we even formally announced. So they were clearly our biggest fans, and they found it even before everything went live formally. So it was immediately fixed. Everyone was immediately refunded. So yes, it was certainly not something that we were looking to have happen, but it was addressed within a matter of hours. Yeah.
Okay. So 8 people. So if you hear anything, they're charging $9,000. No, they're not. They're charging $89.90.
It was a mistake, and it got fixed.
Exactly. So explain what's going on here, because I think some people would look at this. Is this the end of MASN? We won't be able to get it on cable. How does this all work now with the streaming?
No. It is certainly not the end of MASN, and it is certainly not a representation that it's the end of MASN on cable or satellite. We recognize that fans want to receive content in a variety of different ways. For some fans, that's still through a traditional cable subscription package or satellite or Fubo or something along those lines. But for others, for whatever reason, that's not how they want to receive their content, and we haven't had a good solution for them. We haven't had a good solution for our Orioles fans, and frankly, we haven't had a good solution for our Nationals fans, and that's not okay. And so as soon as we had the opportunity to be in a position where we could address this, it was our number one priority. And so we're really excited to have the opportunity to make sure that as many fans as possible have the ability to access their team's content through whatever platform they would like to do so.
Now, I know that some of the games are like on Apple TV and other outlets. How does that work with the streaming? Do you have access to all those games through the MASN streaming? How does that work?
That's a great question. So through the MASN stream, you have access to all of the games that are on MASN. Mm-hmm. So to your point, or MASN 2. So to your point, there are select games for both clubs over the course of the season that are on national broadcast, whether it's Apple TV, Fox, PBS, et cetera. Those, no similar to folks who get MASN through cable or satellite, you will not be able to access those via MASN Plus, but all games that are on MASN or MASN 2 will be accessible.
And the one stream gets you both teams, correct?
That's right. Oh. That's correct.
Okay, so it's not like you have to pay $89.99 for the Orioles and $89.99 for the Nats if you buy the streaming package.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. See, when you're
it's the ultimate baseball go-go.
See, when you're my age, these are questions you have to ask, and fortunately, I have a daughter who still lives in town, so when I have these technical issues, she can help clear them up. But that's why I ask these questions. So glad to clear that up.
No, they're great questions, and ultimately,
Yeah, it's important because I'm still in the cable mode. I may stay for a while, but things are changing rapidly, so I got to be prepared for that. Anything else that's promotion worthy for the rest of the season?
Well, we're excited to be in D.C. this week, and we have a rivalry weekend coming up in May. You mentioned you'll be there, which is amazing. On May 16th through 18th, we'll have the Nats up here at Camden Yards. So look, we're really excited and we're excited to announce that we had the opportunity to announce the exhibition game. Needless to say, unfortunately, the weather didn't hold out for us before the season started this year.
Right.
But starting next year, each team will have a home and home to start the season, and so we're excited about that as well.
And I think I asked you about this last year, and I just need to ask it again. I was at the All-Star game at Camden Yards. It's been a long time, 1993. There have been All-Star games all over the place since then, including one here in Washington. Do you have any inkling as to when that might happen? Would it be after the renovations at the end of the season? When do you think it might be possible to get an All-Star game back?
Well, needless to say, it'll be in in Atlanta this year, and then I think the next couple of years are already spoken for. Mm-hmm. But we're in active conversations with the league and hope to be able to have it here in Baltimore sooner versus later. So I think exciting things to come, hopefully, in the next few years.
That'd be great. Catie, great to talk to you. Congratulations on the developments there at Camden Yards, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you having me.
That's Catie Griggs, the president of business operations for the Orioles, as they continue their series in Washington tonight. And I hope we cleared up all the streaming stuff with MASN, as you can have a subscription. It's being sold for $19.99 a month or $89.99 for the rest of this season. And the way cable TV is going, sooner or later, I'm probably going to wind up with something like that. All right, coming up, we'll look at what's happening on the field for the Orioles as they continue to struggle. But the good thing for them is the Yankees are not running away with the division, and there's a 3-game series coming up at Camden Yards next week. Stay with us. It's Orioles Preview, ESPN 630.
The Andy Poland Show on ESPN 630, the sports capital.
Orioles preview as they play Game 2 of their series in Washington against the Nats tonight. Losers last night 7-0 as just pitching and obviously hitting not going their way lately. They lost the final game of their series on Sunday 24-2, and then they had a day off on Monday. Time to get right. Didn't get right. Lose 7-0 last night. That's 31-2 over the last 2 games. Yet, although it's not a good start, obviously, at 9-13, they're only 4 games out of first place, and they got 3 against the Yankees next week, 2 more against the Nats. Then they go to Detroit for the weekend and then come home to play the Yankees. As for the way things have begun, including personally for Adley Rutschman, who's only hitting 200 on the year, and he's got only 4 home runs. He's, optimistic that things will turn around, and he's hopeful with the season, as he says, early, as he said on the T.J. Smith show yesterday on WBAL.
We view the season as, it's 162 games and where we want to be at the end of September. And I think for us, it's just about playing the kind of baseball that we want to play and understanding that if we do that, the results are going to take care of themselves over the course of 162 games. So for us, I think it's we're just trying to get back to the type of baseball that we want to play and keeping that good communication open, talking to guys, making sure that we're together and just trying to get on that sort of process.
Yeah, injuries have been a big problem, especially to the starting pitching staff. Grayson Rodriguez has yet to start the year. Zach Eflin is hurt. He was their number 1 guy from last year. And they have gotten just terrible pitching out of Charlie Morton, who was a $15 million pickup in the offseason. He's 0-5 on the season. His ERA is close to 11. He's given up 31 hits. He's given up 25 walks. It's just been a disaster all around. And the top draft picks have not produced at the plate. Jackson Holliday, who had a miserable end of the season last year, he's hitting .213. Gunnar Henderson, who missed the first few games of the season back, he's hitting only .213. Those are big issues that they have to work out. The only bright light right now is the top closer from 2 years ago, who was out all last year with Tommy John surgery. Felix Bautista's back and bringing the heat with that 100-plus mile-an-hour fastball. Rutschman as a catcher, explaining the difference between catching a fireballer like him and some of the others on the staff.
There's definitely a difference in it, but a lot of catching is just getting used to seeing the arm action where the ball comes out, and then your brain sort of naturally kind of learns to pick up the ball better and better as you catch them more and more. So it becomes easier as you catch guys more and more, but definitely a difference in how it feels on your hand.
Yeah, and again, we're speaking with Orioles catcher Adley Rutschman. So far this year, how are you feeling? I mean, you guys had the long off season and coming into this season after spring training. How are you feeling so far this season?
Feel good, man. Like I said, we got a great clubhouse. Body's feeling good, and it's nice to be back with this group.
Yeah, it's early on, I know, and we had the big festivities, of course, for opening day where a ton of fans come, but a lot of fans come out for especially giveaways and on weekend games, and as the temperatures warm up more and more, will come out during the week as well. I was there Friday night. I could not believe 5:30, the lines were wrapped around the building. I did not get a hockey jersey. Everybody else got there well before I did, apparently. But what is it like seeing the stands packed with people like it was Friday and then again Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to look up there and just see it packed. Just feel like the energy difference, like when it's a full house, and the national anthem with the O, like that's always a goosebump. Like I always feel that whenever that happens. So it's definitely a cool thing to be a part of, and kind of brings you that perspective of just how cool it is to be playing in such like a great city with a great fan base.
Yeah. And when you look at this fan base, and I know you love the O, what else do you love about the Baltimore fan base in particular?
Honestly, I think it's just it feels very I don't know, I guess family oriented is kind of the maybe a good way to describe it. It just feels like you run into an Orioles fan on the street, and everyone's just they're just supportive. Everyone's super respectful. They're nice people, and people just they like the Orioles, and they're just wholesome fans. It seems like so. I mean, just being a part of that, that kind of energy vibe, I don't know. I love that about pretty much everyone I've met who's an Orioles fan. That just seems to be the consistent factor, which I love.
Yeah. So he's fit in well. He's loved by the fan base. The question is, what about long term? Mike Elias, general manager, doesn't talk about long term contracts, but maybe to take a little bit of the pressure off himself for the fact that this team has underperformed this year, and that they didn't really do much in the offseason, and their big top free agent signing was Charlie Morton, and he's been a disaster so far. He did talk this week about signing both Gunnar Henderson, who is the number 2 pick of the draft, Adley Rutschman, number 1, to long-term deals. Maybe that's with the urging of David Rubenstein, the new owner. Who knows? But that's kind of a shift in the way that Elias has done business in the past, because whenever he's been asked about contracts, he says, I don't talk about contracts. And he's not talking about length or money or anything like that, but looking to lock them up. Ideally, these 3 draft picks are the cornerstone of the team for years to come. That Rutschman gets a long-term deal, that Henderson gets a long-term deal. You see Henderson at shortstop forever, like Brooks Robinson at third or Cal Ripken at short. You see Rutschman behind the plate forever and DHing. And then Jackson Holliday, they hope he works out as well. He's still struggling at the plate, though he did have a grand slam over the weekend. And, the hope is he will develop. He also has a brother, which would be an interesting circumstance. His brother could be the top pick of the draft. As the top pick of the draft? The Nationals. So if the Nationals take Gunnar Jackson Holliday's brother, then you got an interesting rivalry situation between the two teams. They now play every year, home and home, as part of the interleague play. And the parents would probably be wise to move to Columbia because, they can go to all the Oriole home games when they're at home and all the Nationals home games, and maybe see a few road games along the way. But the only bright spot in the lineup so far is Cedric Mullins, who's having a really good year so far. He's got 6 home runs. He's batting .290, and there's feeling that he may be part of a trade piece, like they may look to make a deal for a pitcher at the deadline. That's always going to be a possibility with really the future of Grayson Rodriguez this year somewhat in doubt. But it's a season that could turn. Things could get better, but it's been disastrous lately. And maybe Felix Bautista back in, and once Zach Eflin gets in the lineup, and keep your fingers crossed. Though at 41, it's possible he's kind of fallen off the cliff. Charlie Morton turns things around from what has been an abysmal start so far. Anyway, I want to thank Catie Griggs, the president of business operations for the Orioles, for joining us. Always good to talk to her. Thanks to Isaac Kuhn-Harris for running the show. And always good to talk to Mel Kiper. Glad we were able to play the interview from last week. We got the draft coming up tomorrow, more draft preview then, and much more. Bram is coming up next, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.